Welcome into the Press Row Show, the #1 rated pregame, intermission, postgame show this side of the Mississippi and south of the Arctic Circle. Get that man out of here. I don't know who he is. I don't know why he's here. He's now violated. I wish you could see it at home. Anthony SanFilippo back from... Hey, this guy just came over the rope. He just... Can you take him out? You got to take him out.
He took out the rope.
So Anthony, Florida was apparently... it was too much for him to handle, so he couldn't be on time for his own show. Jackie Spiegel's here. We love Jackie. Jackie, is this the third time? Third time, even on the show.
Do I get a jacket like SNL?
You might get a gold jacket at some point. We have to pull it from intern Andrew's wardrobe, his costume wardrobe closet. But we are having a great time, and then as Jackie and I were about to come on air, what happens? Anthony, I guess his legs are tired. He's been laying out in the sun. He's tan. He looks like he might have slimmed down a little bit again. And what does Anthony do? He almost takes out the velvet rope. In fact, he did take out the velvet rope. How many of those little things fell? No, like when he pulled them. It wasn't. Yeah, it was like two of them. About to collapse. Yeah, everybody up on the balcony.
I almost took out the camera because if the gold stanchion for the velvet rope fell forward, it would have hit the camera stand and we would have been completely off. That would have been horrible.
So here we go. Ant is back. He's already breaking things. But did he break John Tortorella's hand with his head? Can you comment on that? No.
No,
okay.
did not.
Okay.
That happened before I left.
Jackie, welcome to the show again.
Thank you.
Our absolute favorite writer from was it Queens?
Brooklyn.
Oh.
Queens, yeah, Queens. Good.
What
did I say last time? Long Island?
Staten Island.
Staten Island last time. So Jackie's from Queens. Jackie,
he'll hit all 5 boroughs before the end of the season.
You and I were talking about this before we came on, but this set of games coming up. Yep. And I said, oh, it's like Murderer's Row. Yep. And then you looked at me and said,
I literally used that term in my story today.
There you go. That's hashtag synergy.
Now, if Russ were, really a good, host, he would say, Jackie,
well,
I read that in your story today.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
No, I read about 40 pieces of content about North Carolina online sports betting, which is my job. Yeah, I know. Hey, that's what keeps you paid. So, I don't know. Yeah, take that, fella on the end.
Feels very weird being in the middle of you two right now, by the way.
You know what? It is a position no one wants to have to be in, and we're sorry, but it's Ant's fault for showing up late. I do want to talk about these games, though, because this is an absolute, it's not make or break, just given the playoff positioning, if they were to go a goose egg, you go 0-7 or so, it would be catastrophic. What is the worst the team can do, in your mind, to be able to get through this and still be in a good position to make the playoffs? Because I know that there are people out there who are all in and are like, hey, they could win 4 of the next 7. But if we're being honest and realistic here, which we like to be on the Press Row Show,
right,
what do you think they can do and still be in good enough position to lock in a playoff spot through a wild card?
I don't know the Islanders' schedule off the top of my head, but I know they're going to West Coast. So I know that, when you add in the travel, that adds in a whole nother element. Yeah. Because it's pretty tiring, even for me as a reporter. So I can only imagine what it's like for the players after playing a game and whatnot. So I think, and also the time difference is probably going to mess with them especially when they come back. So it's really hard to gauge because of the Islanders being only 4 points back with I think 2 games at hand right now.
So the Islanders' schedule over their next, let's do their next 6 games. Islanders are at Buffalo, home against Ottawa, at the Rangers, home against Carolina, at Detroit, who's also battling for a playoff spot.
Yes. They're basically battling
and home against the Jets.
I mean, they should. I mean, in theory, they should beat Buffalo. They should beat Ottawa.
Yeah.
Rangers Islanders is always a toss-up, no matter how bad a team is. I think, I think, can the Flyers beat the Panthers? I think we know that that's true.
Yeah.
Can they beat the Maple Leafs? They almost did in Toronto a couple weeks ago.
I'd almost say it's more likely than not that they could split against Toronto.
I think that's fair.
Toronto's so up and down. The goaltending's kind of... Boston, though, that's an 0 for 2. That's what you hope you can get a point.
They haven't been playing great lately, Boston. Boston's got, I think, like the second most overtime and shootout losses in the NHL behind the Islanders. They really haven't been playing great hockey lately. They fell out of first place.
The Flyers don't do particularly well against Boston. Though,
They don't. They don't.
Is really the big thing. I look at that more than their recent
answer your question, Russ.
I didn't ask you.
I know you didn't, but I'm going to answer it anyway. I'm going to help Jackie out a little bit here.
Yeah.
I think 6 points in the 7 games, you're in the playoffs.
6 out of 6 points in 7 games.
6 points total.
12.
So 3 and 4, however you want to
14,
break it up.
yeah,
2 and 3, whatever.
Yeah.
2, 3, and 2, however you want to break it up. 6 points, and you're in. They might even be able to go with 5 because I don't think that the teams behind them are all that good.
But here's the thing, though. Right after that, they play what? Chicago, Montreal.
Yeah, they play a bunch of easy teams. That's what I'm saying.
Teams, well, teams you should win, but how many times have we heard Tortorella say?
Yeah,
those
for
are
sure.
the teams that scare him, and that's a very fair assessment.
It is an absolutely fair assessment. But the point is that if you could get 6 points in these next 7 games, you're very likely still in that playoff spot, and so then therefore the rest of the season, which is what? What's that leave? 11 games after that? After this 7, there's 11 games left. If you basically play 500, you're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So you basically say, hang around 500. You can even be slightly under 500 against these really good teams, and then just play 500 hockey. If you play 500 hockey the rest of the season, you're in the playoffs.
I mean, every team they play outside of the Rangers is below them in points. As of now. Like, the Islanders are another game
in the division, you mean. Yeah.
The Islanders are another game that they play, but...
Yeah.
Yes. So,
they're in a definitely tricky spot. I think that the thing that maybe gives you a little bit of hope, and I could be wrong, but, like, just in general, Detroit's been...
Well, that's another
in a bit of a free fall.
That's
lost
another
6 straight games.
That's another conversation because we didn't think about the wild card as a possibility for the Flyers because for all along we kept saying Detroit.
Both
Detroit
are going to come out of the Atlantic.
Right, are going to get in, and now Detroit's kind of taking a step back, and maybe they don't. Maybe Detroit falls out of it, and even if the Flyers get caught by an Islanders, let's say, they're probably still going to get in as a wild card.
Yeah.
So, I think their odds are better now. They just can't get obliterated in these 7 games. They can't get wiped off the table by these teams in the next 7 games. If they're somewhat competitive and win a few of them, or get 6 points, I think you're in.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Flyers and Islanders in the playoffs. Let's be realistic. Patrick Roy probably scares the stuff out of those those players on the Islanders.
Yeah.
So they're going to make a really big push.
The Islanders.
Yeah.
I guess so. All right. I mean, I could buy it. I don't think the Islanders are particularly good.
I don't either.
They have been the ultimate where the loser point helps.
Oh,
because
for
without
sure.
the loser point, the Islanders aren't even in contention. How many do they have? 14?
Like 14.
Yeah, they have 14 points through overtime or shootout losses.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, almost double the next highest.
No, Boston's 12,
Oh, you're right.
You're
right.
Yeah.
In the Metro, the next, I think, is Washington with 9. No, the Blue Jackets have 10. Good job, Columbus. Hey, remember when Ivan Provorov said it was going to be good to play on a team that could actually make plays? Remember that?
Yeah.
How's that going?
Gone well.
Yeah.
Is that what he said about Columbus?
That's what he said. It was nice to be in a place where you can, make some actual plays. Said that beginning of the year. How's the bottom of the standings there, Prov? How we doing?
He's used to it.
Well, Macklin Celebrini is not a bad, what do you call it? I can't think of the
consolation
word.
prize.
Thank you. Yes.
But listen,
Yes,
it's
exactly.
it's fine. Provolone. Although based on how Columbus plays, their defense is more like Swiss. Different kind of cheese.
Oh.
So Anthony, you've been gone. You've been tanning. You've been covering the Phillies.
I was hanging out with Jackie in Tampa.
Why don't you tell us some stories from the road? Anything fun that happened down in Tampa?
It was very boring games.
Yeah, it was
Very boring.
The coach got thrown out of that game.
He did? I didn't see anything about that. Are you sure?
I'm positive. Didn't you hear I had a question answered in the post-game press conference?
Oh, I was wondering why that happened. Interesting. Very interesting. You mean when you asked the question, the guy didn't just say...
Not answer any of your questions.
No, he did
Interesting.
not. He did not.
Interesting.
It was good.
Torts not being here didn't really seem to matter all that much against a bad San Jose team. Although, in fairness, they almost did lose that game to San Jose. Against a team like Toronto, which is a very Jekyll and Hyde kind of team, you have to think that there's a chance that him not being on the bench could play some sort of role, maybe?
No.
Or no?
I don't think so because, like the guys in the room say, he just calls the lines. And it's Bradshaw and it's Rocky Thompson who really work with the defense, work with the offense. So I don't think there's going to be much different. I mean, and Bradshaw has been with Tortorella how long now?
Yeah.
It's like, you could swap him in and out in terms of like what, the knowledge and everything that's there. So I don't think so. I think it'll be,
business as usual?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that. I had this conversation with Kevin Kincaid earlier today, where he asked me the same question: how much impact is there when the coach isn't there? And I think in sports in general today, except for maybe the NBA, I think the assistant coaches have a lot more impact on what goes on in a game than even a head coach might, in a lot of ways. Football, you rely on your offensive and defensive coordinators. In baseball, the manager leans on the pitching coach or the bench coach or the hitting coach, right, for a lot of stuff that they're with strategy on how they're going to deploy certain players. I think in hockey, it's the same thing. I think you lean on your assistants. We know Rocky runs the power play, and Brad runs the penalty kill, and Brad changes the defenseman, and Rocky's in charge of the offense. And, as a head coach, your job is to kind of get the feel for what's going on with the whole team, and if you have to feel like you have to make an adjustment in some way with who's playing with who or whatever, you're going to do it, and then have your assistants adjust as well. But you pretty much let them do their job. And so basically that's what's happening, is they're just doing their job without the oversight for 2 games.
Yeah.
I don't think it has that great of an impact.
A head coach's responsibility is basically to just oversee the bench. Yeah. Oversee the general mood and vibes on the bench. And you pretty much defer to your assistants to run what they're responsible for.
Yeah.
And they might say to you, Russ, I'm thinking about changing the lines. Are you good with this? And then as a head coach, you offer your yes or no.
I'll give you the perfect example. I go back to the game that Torts gets kicked out of, right? Right before, so they give up the 4th goal. Mm-hmm. Before he pulls Urson to go to Sandstrom, he walked over to Bradshaw, and he said something to him. Bradshaw whispers back to him, and as soon as Torts is done having that quick conversation with Bradshaw, he turns to Sandstrom and says, "You're going in." So he obviously bounced the idea off of his assistant coach. It wasn't something that he just made arbitrarily on his own.
Yeah, as much as we like to think that head coaches are the end-all and be-all of everything, they're really not.
Right.
It's such a system, and it's such you work with everyone who's on your staff.
Correct.
To such a degree that, to me, this is just interchangeable. And they talk about it. Rocky still ran the forwards, and Bradshaw still runs the defense. And remember we asked, were you the head coach? Were you the de facto head coach with Torts out? And he's like, well, we kind of split responsibilities.
Right.
And that's what happens because he still has to run the defense, and he still has to run the offense. And like I said, a head coach is just oversees everything, and they do ask opinion to you and as a head coach, and you offer your insight and what you think, and you might say to the assistant, this is what I want.
Right. Exactly.
You just mentioned offense, defense, of course, special teams. They go together so well. It's kind of like antipasti. You got some main courses and some desserts. Of course, I'm talking about this Saturday. La Sicilia, down in Oxford, Pennsylvania. We'll be doing the Press Road show. Myself, Ant, and Bundy, who will be here, I think a little bit later in pregame, but definitely for intermissions and postgame. The 3 of us will be down in Oxford, having a blast at La Sicilia. You can get tickets at shop.snowthegoalie.com. Huge Italian buffet. Ant, how big is the Italian buffet going to be?
Massive.
We're going to get Anthony to gain all of the weight he's lost back in one night.
And we're going to have some door prizes. I think Joe Seville is bringing, the PR guy is bringing us 3 door prizes for tonight. He's supposed to bring them to me. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And we can advertise them ahead of time?
If we get them beforehand, so we know what they are specifically. I have a general idea, but I don't know the specifics. So unless I have the specifics, we can't. There's going to be some autographed items. Let's put it that way.
How would the door prizes work?
We're just going to do some kind of thing probably during the show, right? Maybe not.
But it's like if you have a ticket.
Yeah, well, you have to have a ticket.
You have a ticket.
You have a ticket.
You go to shop.snowthegoalie.com.
Yeah.
And then that ticket enters you for a chance to win a door prize.
Correct.
People aren't pulling extra money out of their pocket to buy a raffle ticket.
They can. There will be opportunities to do that as well.
Yeah.
But you get 10. I think you get 10 entries.
With a ticket.
With a purchase. Just the purchase of your ticket gets you 10 entries for the raffles.
So listen, you look at it on shop.snowthegoalie.com. You say, wow, that's like a show, because we're going to watch the Flyers-Bruins game up on a big projected screen thing, right? So you're getting a show, because we're doing the Press Road show. You get to talk puck with us. You get to take pictures with Bundy and Ant, not me. Definitely intern Andrew. He'll be around to take pictures as well. And you get entered for potentially autographed stuff from the Flyers. All for the price of your ticket? Are you kidding me?
And I believe...
How much is the ticket?
It's on shop.snowthegoalie.com. You got to find out.
Oh, okay.
It's part of the intrigue, you know.
If you tell people the price up front, then they're not going to go look it up. It's like that thing where you get the cover of a book, right? Mm-hmm. You pick it up and you hold it in your hand, and the cover. You're like, oh, you're more likely to buy it once it's in your hand.
Okay.
Right? It's the same concept.
Right,
once you go to the site,
you're
more likely to buy it.
You go, all right, good Italian meal. We got to get some tiramisu. Got to get a little prosciutto. Maybe a little manicotti.
And just
maybe a little bit of mortadella.
Just to confirm, we do not have the Jaromir Jagr bobbleheads.
Well, okay, now hold on a second.
We don't have them.
You don't have them. You don't have them. No, I want to know where they are.
Seriously.
Where are the Jagr bobbleheads?
It's my timeline is literally Flyers related content, Kate Middleton.
I was just about to say.
And Jaromir Jagr bobbleheads.
Hold on, pause. We're gonna get back to hockey talk in a second. Where's Kate Middleton?
Where
are the Royals?
I have my theories,
are the Royals gonna get the stream taken down if we talk about it?
Maybe.
We are stateside.
I don't know. I don't want to have them knocking on.
What's your theory? I'm curious now. Now that you said you have a theory, I want to know what the theory is. You just put that out into the world, Jackie.
I know, yeah. Jackie, just be careful, because you don't want to be like the thing going around about Aaron Rodgers right now. You don't want to start putting conspiracies out there. All right, don't besmirch your name.
No.
But all right, where's Kate Middleton?
Well, have you seen the latest rumor, by the way?
When was about the affair?
About the affair with
her friend.
And she's pregnant.
No.
Yes.
The other ladies.
Kate's basically like, I'm done.
Oh.
That's the rumor. That's the newest.
That's fantastic.
I didn't know she was pregnant.
That she's pregnant.
Oh,
the affair was supposed to be only in 2018 and has continued. Now I'm just seeing this on like Twitter and
let's
Instagram.
not spread. Hold on, we can't spread salacious rumers here on the Press Row Show.
I'm just repeating what I've seen in an 18.
Prince Harry's fingerprints are all okay, so that's wow.
That's the new one.
Prince Harry's going to call you a clown on Instagram, Jackie.
Yeah. Supposedly she's very much done with everything. Which I don't blame her.
I don't blame her. You know what? Being a royal, for all the glitz and glam, it sounds like it sucks. It sounds like when you marry in, it sucks.
They broke up years. She dumped him, didn't she? Dump him
initially,
when they were in college?
yeah. Initially they did, yeah. I listened to a couple podcasts about it today. It's totally fine. Totally normal behavior.
18-part.
See what you were listening?
TikTok.
You were listening to those podcasts rather than reading Jackie's story.
I was listening. Listen, because I needed to be ready for tonight, and being part of being ready for tonight is in case the show goes off the rails, like it did about Kate Middleton. All right, so Kate Middleton is not in the lineup tonight.
No.
Neither is Mitch Marner.
No.
How about that?
Attaboy! Come here. Come here. You got to show it off.
So Joe Papel and Joe Papel were here earlier with their Snow the Goalie shirt.
Check this out.
This guy.
Check
the
this
Quitter,
out.
the Quitter Gautier shirt.
The Quitter Gautier shirt.
Available over at shop.snowthegoalie.com.
Appreciate it, man.
Now, you know what's great about this? He's got a great shirt, and he cleared the rope, unlike Anthony, who almost knocked the whole thing down.
That was not good.
That was good dexterity out of him. I'm very proud. He cleared it twice, both ways. Anthony hasn't even tried to get out yet. This is what
He's gonna unhook it.
You know what it is? He's got sunburn. Because there's a theory that's been going on.
Hold on.
Fatigue.
I did get sunburn in Tampa too, though. It is
but
very hot down.
We've had a theory that Ant was going to go down there and, he's getting married later this year. He wants to get the tan started now. And maybe he was wearing a banana hammock down there.
No,
I was going to
introduce Jack. I got a story.
But maybe I got a story. He was out there in the banana hammock and he got a little bit of sunburn on those thighs.
I got a story for you,
clear the velvet rope.
Russ. I was going to introduce Jackie to my family because she was sitting outside the hotel. So, we stayed 25 minutes from Tampa, right? So my family went to the game. They actually got tickets for the Flyers game. Sadly, they had to sit through that in the stands.
They had to sit through more of it than Torts did.
They did. They absolutely did. And so afterwards, I said, just pull around to the Marriott, which is right next to the arena, and pick me up there. And that was the plan, except Maria didn't read her text properly, and she thought that they were just meeting me there. So Maria made my poor mother, who could barely walk, and my father, and my son and his girlfriend walk all the way to the hotel and say, okay, now we're going to walk back to the car, which is on the complete opposite side of the arena.
It's good for older people to get a little bit of activity.
And I didn't want Jackie to see me kind of go, what the hell were you thinking?
So you ran across the street.
So I went across the street, and so I need to apologize. Atta guy. It's nice. Good stuff.
That guy, he just wanted us to know that he is a Flyers fan.
He's a Flyers fan. That's good. That's great. So, yes.
I don't know if you noticed, a lot of other people have Flyers stuff on. We're at a Flyers game.
So I kind of needed to apologize to Jackie for just walking away. We were having a nice conversation, waiting for them to show up.
Yep.
And then it just was, yeah.
And then I tried to get an Uber, and that was a disaster.
Was it really?
Oh, well, they were like blocking some of the streets around there. And
yeah, not good. Not good.
Not great.
Downtown arenas, not good. Anyway.
That's what some people say. I think they're actually kind of nice.
Because you can walk out and go somewhere.
Huh?
You can walk out of the building and go somewhere.
Yeah, I think that if you build up the area around the area around it has to be nice, otherwise it's a total waste.
Well, there's fun things to do in the not too distant area around Amalie Arena in Tampa. There's just no parking, A, and B, there's no public transit.
Yeah.
That's
so
brutal.
that's the second. That's the
and
negative,
they block
right?
every street.
Like it's impossible.
The guy yelled at us to make a left or something.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to get to the side where the entrance was. There was no way.
You wouldn't consider Nationals Park to be a downtown arena, would you? I mean, it's like on the periphery of the mall, but it's not.
It's in Southeast Washington, which is not really downtown.
I wouldn't call it downtown.
Downtown's where the
but they do have
the Capitals play is downtown.
Yes.
Yeah, but I haven't been there.
Chinatown.
But I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about like the park itself that they have. They have all the restaurants and everything around it. So that's like a nice thing when you go down to a Nationals. Well, really, you're going to see Phillies South.
Except they want to move.
They want to move at Nationals Park?
They want to move everything to
no,
Virginia. They want to move everything to Virginia.
The Capitals do, not the Nationals.
I think it's just the Capitals.
They're not going to move the Nationals out of D.C.
Not out of the D.C. area, but out of that neighborhood.
It is the DMV.
I heard the Nationals are going to go take over the Bowie Bay Sox stadium. So that's not true.
Hey, can I give you a Kolosov update?
Oh, yes.
Here you go, Jack. I'll give you something to write about.
Sure.
Because Ant sure won't do it. Here's the thing about Ant when he writes.
I've talked to Danny Bear a few times about Kolosov. If you read the Q&A that was on...
I don't think you didn't read what she wrote.
Maybe I might have missed that one.
Oh, uh-huh. Jackie
I did read her today, though.
Jackie has grounds to go after Ant.
I read her stuff today. I don't always read everything.
What did I write about today?
What did you write about today? I read the Inquirer this morning because I had to prepare for the crossing broadcast.
You didn't read after morning.
No, I did not read that. Yeah.
Oh, you just gave him an out.
Yeah.
That's such a shame.
Yeah. Sorry.
Give him an out.
Anyway, so Russ, I don't know what you guys talked about the last time. I know I had mentioned to you that I sent you a text that when they got eliminated.
Yes, that Minsk was out.
That Minsk was eliminated by Moscow.
That's Svidanya, Minsk.
So basically, everybody just assumes that he immediately comes right over, right? It's not going to happen right away.
Yet.
I can confirm.
Yes, it has to be. So the issue is his visa. He's got to get the visa kind of squared away.
And it's not a simple process.
And it's not. And there's a real worry, or not worry. I should say worry. Worry is the wrong word. I did not mean worry.
Here he goes.
But there's there's a concern that it could take a little bit longer, and they don't want it to turn into
Fedotov 2.0.
Yeah.
Has Kolosov served in the military yet?
That's a good question. I don't know.
It's a good question.
I don't have the answer.
Svidanya, tavarish.
I don't have the answer. But the thought process is maybe by the end of the month, and then he will start in the AHL.
Okay, that makes sense.
If they're playing.
If they're still, I think they're still playing the end of March, right?
Like the last weekend.
Yeah, I think that's kind of.
They're like on the bubble of the playoffs.
Right, but that's kind of the goal, to kind of get them to play down there first, and then see.
Oh yeah, no, I can confirm that too.
Oh,
yeah.
You know, I told you I'm gonna learn Russian in time for Mishkov coming over. I started picking it back up a little bit,
A little bit.
It's been a few years.
Ambition.
Can I just get one of these dudes to come over who like speaks German? Can I get somebody who speaks Spanish?
German.
Can I get the Spanish people over here?
So Jackie, you don't know this.
I mean, my last name is German.
But you don't know this about Russ.
I think she does. I thought we had this conversation before.
Russ was a teacher, a German teacher,
and Spanish,
too.
But like I get no Spanish speakers here. None. I get no German speakers here. None. But we're getting the Russians, and I'm going to learn Russian. And we have. I could do that. There's some other programs that are a little bit better, but yeah, you could do that. A little babble. We do get the French though, like Bundy. Therien, bonjour, monsieur. You know.
What do you think about the game, Jackie? Because we got to do
that.
but only because we Bundy's ready to come in, so we got to have to. And the game starts in about 4 minutes.
He's about to boot you. He's saying in a nice way that he's about to kick you off the show.
I think he is. I don't know how I'm going to get out though.
No, I will let you out, and then I'll jump in your spot.
He tries to get you here last minute. You're here before he is, and then he has it. We should kick him off.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think it'll be a good game.
I do too.
I think the fact that they almost beat them in Toronto is a good precursor to this. And they were down 2 goals. And that was the one game I missed.
And they came back and forced overtime. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think no Mitch Marner kind of makes it a little easier maybe for the Flyers. No Mitch Marner.
See that on the screen? Josh White. He was a good student. I like Josh. Josh is here to corroborate that I speak German because he was one of my students in high school.
Yeah.
How about that?
But yeah, I think,
back to the game.
I think who's in net for Toronto? Do we know? Is it Samson?
It's a good question. I'll pull it up.
But it should be. I think it'll be entertaining. These are two teams that play hard.
Samsonov. Yeah.
So
this game could just as easily go 5-2 as it could 3-1, right? Like because of the variance that Toronto
you don't know
plays with, you have no idea what you're going to get.
And no Mitch Marner obviously makes a big difference for them.
Yep.
Like talking to Bradshaw this morning, he talked about their power play, like defending against their power play.
Yep.
And he said, obviously not having Mitch Marner changes things a little bit. I think Kelly, I might say the last name wrong, Kelly Yarnrock is on their power play now, and that's not a power play guy. I mean, when you have Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews.
Dennis Gurianov's not a power play guy.
He looked pretty Gurianov the other day, I thought.
That was the best quote from Rocky, though.
All I did was ask the question.
Yes, you did. It was
about
great.
Gurianov being on the power play and what led to that. And
what a great response.
Yeah.
The power play sucks anyway.
No. The power play stinks.
Stinks.
The power play stinks.
Anthony always up here with his fake news. You just can't trust the guy.
It was very. And then later on, he said, basically put him on there because it's not going to make it worse or something like that. He said too. So
exactly.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Well, Jackie, thanks.
So, Jackie, did you give us a score prediction?
Oh no, she didn't.
You know what? I might stick with the 4-3 in the last game that they played against each other.
4-3?
4-3. Do I have to say who?
Yeah, you have to say who.
I feel like if I say Leafs, then maybe it'll be like a little.
Oh, you're going like reverse psychology?
Yeah, maybe a little reverse psychology.
So,
I mean, to me, it doesn't matter.
So you're going to say Leafs, though? Leafs 4-3?
I'll say Leafs 4-3.
Okay.
It's a good pick.
I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's a real close game.
Samsonov's not a great goalie.
Yeah.
And like I said, no Mitch Marner, and
And here you go, Jackie. Oh, wrong one. Not that one.
Oh, that's nice because I read some of the comments as they were coming down. So
Timeout says Jackie's awesome.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Some of the comments were not nice about the questions I asked, but
you know what? Here's the one thing. Here's the thing about Philly. What other city do people care what questions are asked in a press conference?
Have you been to New York?
Here you go.
Have you been to a Yankees press conference?
Linda Joseph just said Jackie is a legend for putting up with this silly podcast.
That's right. Good call by Len.
Good stuff. Well,
thank you for coming on the show.
Appreciate it.
Bundy? I just saw Bundy. Where did he go? Did we lose him? All right. We're going to get into the final predictions here. We have about 4 minutes left until they drop the puck. A big thank you, as always, to Jackie. Make sure you go read her stuff. She does a great job. There he is. Oh, look at what's that on his face. That absolute beaut. You always love when you see it. You love to see that stash on Bundy's face. How you doing, you beaut?
We're going to keep this up tonight. The girls' game started. They're down early to Holy Cross.
Is this
Loyola tonight? That's why I put the good luck St. Pat stuff there. So I'm going to be praying for my girls.
That's good stuff.
And hopefully they pull off. They don't. They had a great year anyway. But so 2 important games tonight.
Yes,
for me.
2 important games. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm picking the Stars tonight, boys. By the way.
Oh, nice.
So,
wow.
Are they ever going to ask us to do that? They used to ask me all the time when I worked for those clowns at NBC Sports Philly.
I used to get to do it
But you
every
had to
once
have
in a while,
like some kind of like clout.
Yeah, I don't know. Steve sent me a message yesterday. He said, "Hey, can you do Stars tomorrow?" I was like, "Sure." So I'm Stars today.
There you go, brother.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So make sure that the people weigh in as the game goes on who they think the Stars should be. Usually we pick it with about 6, 7 minutes.
Are you going to let the people decide? Oh, that'd be funny.
I've done that before.
Absolutely. I would have an interaction with
Yori
them.
Laterra. No? Okay.
Yeah, no. It's gotta be
Bundy,
people in the
we
game.
were just talking about this game, how weird this game could be. No Marner for Toronto. What? What are you laughing at? What's so funny, giggly bits?
Just keep going.
Okay.
We'll talk about it off air.
Okay. Your prediction for tonight?
He's messing around, huh?
I don't know what he's doing. He's a mess. He showed up here he's sunburned on his thighs from wearing the banana hammock, so now he can't even walk over. He missed it.
Bundy, I almost took out everything.
He couldn't clear the velvet rope and almost knocked both of the gold stanchions over and almost knocked the camera over pregame.
It was bad.
It's because he's burnt on his thighs.
The table saved me.
Wow.
Yo, that table would have gone through the glass. He could have fallen. He could have killed someone.
Imagine if he took Gritty out.
That might not have been a bad thing.
That really would have been Gritty's chaos corner.
Gritty gets dosed. Anthony falls on Gritty. That's the end of him.
That's what happens when I was flying in storage. Anyway.
Who do you want? So I have to make my pick.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go 4-3 Flyers.
It's a tough game tonight.
It is, yeah.
It's a tough game to call.
That could be a 50-50, but I'm taking the home side. Toronto, I felt Toronto, I felt like they were better 4 years ago.
Yes.
Than they are now. They feel like they're beatable.
And there might no Marner tonight.
No Marner, I know. It just, I don't know, it feels like it's just Toronto could.
I don't think they're winning both of these games against Toronto. This one and the next one, I think they're going to split them. The question is, which one do they win, which one do they lose? And I'm not 100% sure.
So, and what's yours?
I'm going to go with the Flyers in this game. I'm going to go 3-2 Flyers. But I think it's Bundy's right. I think it's just a toss-up.
I'll go 4-2 Toronto. 4-2 Toronto.
I mean, it could be that too. I mean, it really could. It's just an odd game.
What do you got there, Russell?
I wanted to go 4-3, but I don't like the redundancy, so I'm going to go 5-3 Leafs.
Okay.
5-3 Leafs. Like I said a little bit ago, I could just as easily see this one having like an 8-goal outburst as just as easily as I could these teams having a hard time scoring. But what does Philly struggle with the most? Elite talent on the other side. Yeah, there's no Marner.
They got to stay out of the penalty box. If they give up penalties, they're in trouble.
The other night was bad.
That's why I'm going with 5-3.
Yeah.
The Flyers were bad the other night taking penalties.
I don't criticize anybody's pick in this game because I think this is a very, very hard one to call.
So I'm going to ask people, hold on.
3-2, 4-3, 5-3.
Oh, look at that. A banana hangamate. There's a banana hammock in German, All right, 9:43. So I need everybody to go like this and hit the like button there, all right?
On the stream?
Yeah, on wherever they're watching, you got to hit the like button.
Yeah,
I used to be like, whatever. But now it actually does mean something. It's important to do that. So if you could do that for us, it would help, and then I wouldn't feel like, that one like really gets us through the night.
Because we are here on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, and now we have to go because they're gonna do the double national anthem, starting with "Oh Canada," and then the Star Spangled Banner. So we'll be back first intermission, second intermission, and post game. Make sure you like this, share it, subscribe on YouTube. We'll talk to all of you in the first intermission.
Let's go Flyers.
Hello there. Now, we're a little bit slow getting the score off the screen, but we're not quite as slow as watching Mark Stahl skate. Welcome into the first intermission show, the Press Row Show, the #1 rated pregame, intermission, and postgame show, this side of the Mississippi and south of the Arctic Circle. And I've actually been told,
Thank
guys,
God this show didn't exist my last year.
I just have to be very careful.
Jesus.
I've been told that there's a chance, and we're still looking to confirm, that we are also the @1 pregame, intermission, and postgame show north of the equator, guys. Now there is an intermission show at a men's league in Tijuana, Mexico, that might take the crown.
There's
So
there's polling on that.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Do they have a team in Haiti yet?
They have the Quinic.
Be a nice trip there for round robin tournament for the weekend. Oh man.
We have Quinnipiac. Is that what it is? Doing the polling?
Quinnipiac.
Can we just call it Q? You can't just call it Q.
The
Aaron
Q
Rodgers
poll.
will show up with a conspiracy. All right, welcome in to the Press Row Show. We jest, we laugh, because if we don't laugh, you might cry at home. The Flyers losing after 3-0. We said in pregame this game was going to go one of two ways. It has not gone the way that the Flyers want this game to go. Let's be honest, because I've been about as big of a Sam Emerson guy all year as you can be. Third goal, not a great one at all. He does not look locked and loaded like we're used to seeing him.
He gets like this though. He's good, but when he's not good, he's awful.
Are we talking about
Urson?
Oh yeah, dude. I said it before the game with Jason Bryan Smith. They are like when he's bad, he's bad.
Yeah.
And the goals come. Like, let's be fair here, guys. If it wasn't for a hand pass behind the net that was like a foot,
right?
It's 4-0.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
and he's let in 4 goals. Let's forget that. I mean, it is 3-0, but yeah, I mean, that's twice now, really, in the last few games, 2 games that he's really been kind of had a rough first period, and it could have been worse. It could have been worse. Flyers power play wasn't good. I'm just trying to think. I didn't notice a lot of Coots that period. The one guy was really invisible for me was Forster.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even notice him. Hathaway I noticed because he's playing pretty intense. But they need guys. It just feels like there's no symmetry between the D and the forwards. It feels like it's kind of congested. And I'm not going to lie. Like, you got to win the other night. We said you don't get points for style, and they did, and they won the game. But that wasn't a good game by the team. Like, they could have lost to San Jose the other night. And for a lot of the game, San Jose outplayed them, and the Flyers' defense struggled with them. One thing that's apparent right now, guys, and it will be resolved down the road, it won't be now, Sean Walker, he's missed.
Yeah.
And so is Sealer.
Yeah.
The shot block and the defensive intensity, you're not going to get that, from Mark Stahl or from Eric Johnson at this stages in their career. It's just not there anymore.
Yeah.
But that's something that's very noticeable, and the quick escape with the puck for the team eludes them right now, and that's a problem.
I did hear there was somebody in the comments during the period who said, was trading Sean Walker for a late first-round pick still worth it? And I say absolutely, yeah. But in terms of the playoff push, it actually does put them in a pretty weird spot here, because you always talk about the cascading effect that it can have to lose one guy, especially to lose a guy who was really playing arguably is the best defenseman on the team. Depending on game to game, he was probably the most steady defenseman they had all year.
No doubt. Him and Sealer.
And his ability to help them get out of their own end and into the offensive zone, it is missed tremendously. And they do not have anyone right now who can come back in and do it. Aside from, if you get Drysdale back at some point, but that's it. Because not even Sealer, that's not Sealer's game. Does it get a Stahl or a Johnson out of the lineup? Sure. But they're struggling. This might have had a bigger impact than I think they maybe even thought it could.
Well, I think they're going to have to really evaluate next game again what defensive rotations, and if they have to bring up another young guy or insert Ginning into the lineup. Again, the only time we really saw them together
was Florida.
Ginning
and Adder together.
The thing with Ginning is they're not big on him. They're just not.
Where's Belpedio?
No, come on.
Well, no, we had the conversation just like in the beginning of the year. He looked like at least serviceable.
But again, you're playing that's games in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Right? That's the thing. I
didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's just that there's no good option at this point. The only real NHL caliber talent that they have that's not here that they could bring in is Emil Andre. But the thing is, and this is the internal debate that they have. Do you bring up Andre and play him third pair minutes, only 12 minutes, 13 minutes, or do you continue to let him develop in the AHL, playing in all situations 20-some minutes a game? And I think that they feel that there is more benefit for him to still be doing that with the Phantoms, who, by the way, are in their own playoff dogfight right now in the AHL. And it's important to them to have that as well. But that they're weighing that, and I think I think that's a debate that's worth having. Well, do you sit there and say what's better?
Well, yeah, let's throw it to Bundy as the former defenseman at the NHL level. If it's you, okay, so he's kind of talking about from the organizational standpoint, but if it's you and we're talking about your development as a player with like 16 games left or whatever, would you rather be an all-situations guy in the AHL in the midst of a playoff battle down there, or would you rather have the opportunity here with 16-ish games left to be a third-pair defenseman at the NHL level, trying to help the NHL team make the playoffs?
That's an unfair question.
Well, I mean, of course I'm going to say yes, because I mean, you could be a pylon, and if they call the pylon up, the pylon's going to say, "Great, I had a chance to play in the NHL."
So as a player, that doesn't weigh on it. But as an organization,
look at it from the perspective of Danny Briere's perspective.
Yeah.
What's better for Andre?
Well, for the player, if they have a view of him being a long-term player and not, again, we live in this world now where we worry so much about how someone's going to be.
Yeah.
But it's more to me now about like watching out for the late teenager that's coming in that's got high expectations. Listen, if you're in a dire spot here, you got to make a dire move. If your goal, and I believe it now, is to be in the playoffs, to get in a round, then you have to do whatever possible it is to give your team the best lineup every single night, no matter who that is. There's guys in the minor now that could play better than 2 or 3 defensemen that are here now, the way they've just performed. But again, what happens is you get stuck with contract situations, right?
Well, you only get, and that's the other thing, you only get 4 recalls after the trade deadline.
Correct.
Okay. Right? So you got to manage them appropriately, okay? And we talked pregame about, if Kolosov comes over and he gets a couple games in, right, and then you want him to, so you got to save
he could be one. All right, so
you got to save one
earmark
there.
One.
All right.
Do you get an extra for an emergency?
Emergency recalls are allowed, but they have to be.
Felix Sandstrom happens to pull his groin getting out of bed.
No. Hold on a second.
I'm not saying we're gonna find him.
No. So the way it works is with the emergency recalls is if you've created the situation yourself, you're not allowed to have an emergency recall. If you have not, if it's something that was brought on by an injury, by suspension, by
like
something
pulling
like
a groin, getting out of bed.
But it doesn't. You can't just assume that the league is going to sign off on that. You got to ask for permission, and the league has to say okay. So they're going to want to see medicals, right? The league's not going to let you just get away with it.
Felix Sandstrom. I'm not saying I know a guy, but
the next question is: do we see him at the beginning of the second period?
I don't think so. I think
I'm going to say yes.
You think they're going to make the change at intermission?
Because it isn't 3 goals, it's 4.
Right.
Well, what are the expected? Now, hold on. We have expected goals, we have actual goals, and we have Bundy goals. And in Bundy goals, they have 4.
No, but you haven't looked at. I want you to look up what the expected goals are. The Flyers are out shooting Toronto 12-10, I think it is, after the first period, if I'm correct. But I feel like the chances were 120-3 the other way.
Yeah.
Like I felt like it was all Toronto that period. And look, we can sit here and criticize the defense, and they have not been good. They've been slow, right? I've not liked a lot of what you saw out there. Travis Sanheim has just not been the same player that last. I think he's hit a wall. Bundy and I were talking about players who maybe hit a wall. I think he's certainly one of them. But I got to tell you, they're not getting support from the forwards either.
Yeah, and you know how you could tell that? The third goal, technically the actual goal that counted.
Yeah.
What happens is with defensemen is they back up when they lose trust in their forwards. When your forwards are pushing back, the defenseman can keep the gap.
Right.
It allows you to stay up. When the forwards aren't there and there's a tracker, what happens is that defensemen are only reading an odd man rush.
Yeah.
So they have to back up. And that's really, in hockey, why teams lag back defensively is because they don't have any trust in their forwards, or their forwards simply don't come back, and believe me, there's a lot of forwards.
So you're
that come back.
you're overcompensating.
And that's
100%.
and that's why you hear coaches talk about the gap so much,
Yeah.
right? Because I mean, it really is. It's not. It doesn't. You might think it's on the defenseman, but it isn't always on the defenseman.
It's what your eyes tell you that you have to be.
Right.
If I have forwards and there's no one behind me, and I'm in the offensive zone, I'm staying up as long as I can until I sense the danger coming out of the zone. But when the danger starts pulling out with you, you want to have that center with you. You know, either dictating, pushing the forward in the neutral zone to one side or another, and then he's talking to me or Desjardins. I'm going back in my time, saying here's where it's going. We're going to set the play up here, and if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to go down the left side because I've got my guy. Bundy's going to have his, and I know Desjardins going to cover the weak side.
Right.
And that's why. But if Primo's not there or Lindros, then there's no tracker. That allows those forwards to come in. One guy goes to the net, the other guy can swing into the middle and grab that late pass. And that's why there's no gap. The third goal, I would have liked someone to get a stick on it, but the gap, see how far back they were? Terrible goal, don't get me wrong. But that's what, because the forwards allowed the defensemen allowed that forward group to get the blue line.
Makes sense. There was a really good question there from Brian C.
And the question is for those people who are going to hear this after the fact in the podcast feed, assuming it's going to be in the podcast feed.
This part probably won't. I don't know. Maybe.
Given how the game has gone so far, do you see them winning any games at all during the 7-game stretch? Like, which game could you even see them winning? I'm going to stop you right there, Brian. I'm not going to take a 20-minute swath of a game and say that that's going to lead to a 7-game losing streak. I don't see that happening. And keep in mind that this team, and yes, it was not, they had Sean Walker before, and they had Sealer, and they had, the guys that have been out, Drysdale, but they've been contending with the top teams in hockey all season long. I would venture to say that they probably have one of the top 5 or 6 records in the game against current playoff teams.
They do.
Right? I think that that's fair to say. And so, therefore, I can't sit here and say, oh, well, they're just because they played bad in the first period against Toronto that they're going to lose 7 in a row, because I don't necessarily see it that way.
But hold on, Russ. It does add to what we're talking about, though, that this is not the same team 6 weeks ago, right? Guys are burning a lot of fuel, and again, that's where they're at. You've seen a drop-off in play. So that's the difference between how they played early in the year, because I really do believe there was a fear factor.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
Yeah, and I think but you got to look at it and say, is Sealer going to be back soon? Probably. Yeah, he'll be back sooner rather than later, right? Well, that's going to help a little bit, right? But it's sure. I mean, look, Coots is not the same player. That's why he's playing on the 4th line. All right, he's just his body can't be there.
They burned him out.
Well, I mean, it's not only that; it's just he's trying.
And he's also coming off a 2-year.
Right, 2 years. Right.
They burned him out.
Travis Konecny's playing through an upper body injury that he probably shouldn't be playing through. All right, let's be honest about that, right? And then a couple other guys who've just kind of hit the wall and disappeared a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Bundy said that, where's Forster tonight? Haven't seen him. Where's Tippett been tonight? Haven't seen him. I don't necessarily think Scott Lawton's had a great first period.
No.
Morgan Frost, I didn't think had a good first period.
So then we circle back to the schedule, which is up on the screen. Toronto tonight. You're at Boston on Saturday. Tickets available. Shop.snowthegoalie.com for the Press Road Show. Come out, watch it, have a big Italian buffet. Door prizes, which we'll talk about in a second. Then you're back home against Toronto again. You're at Carolina. You're home against Boston. You're home against Florida. Then you're at Madison Square Garden against a Rangers team that has been an absolute disaster for you to play against. Look, we know that I trend negative. It's fair. I don't think they're going to go 0-7-0. But if you told me that the team is going to go 0-5-2 over these 7 games, I wouldn't fight you on it, because I do think that the lack of Walker and Sealer being out,
it's possible,
and Couturier being like a shell of himself.
The Flyers get 6 points. All right, 6 points out of the 7 games. They will make the playoffs.
That's exactly what he said pregame.
Did you? That's exactly what I thought coming in.
That's why I said that.
6 points out of 7 and out of the 7 games,
and you're in the playoffs.
And they're in the playoffs.
I agree.
Where are the 6 points though? Because I could see.
Well, that's the question.
Well, look at it, because
I said that. I felt like they could split these 2 games with Toronto.
I agree. I don't think it'll happen tonight. I think that next week's game against Toronto, you can at least get a point.
They've been good against Carolina all year. They've been good against Florida all year.
All right, so say a point there and a point there, so that gets you to 3 points.
I feel like Florida, though. I mean, are you really going to sweep Florida? Like,
no.
They'll be better here in Philly than they probably were in Florida.
I could see them going a point, maybe 2 against Toronto next week, one against Carolina, one against Florida.
Well, you have them losing all those games, and I'm trying to say to you, you're asking me where they can get wins, and I'm telling you I think they can get wins. And look, Boston has not played well lately.
No, they have not.
They've not. And so, can they split with Boston? I think it's possible. I'm not predicting yes, they're going to. I take it game by game on the prediction thing, right? But I think that there is a possibility, because of the way Boston's playing, that they can steal one of those games.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah. It's tough, though. Like, it's funny because, like, even getting to 6 points out of potential 14, like, you look at it and you really do have to kind of do a little bit of mental gymnastics. You don't have a layup. After that stretch, it gets a little bit easier. Like, you do have a few games that are down, but then you also have a game against the Islanders, too. You have a game against New Jersey in the next to last game. Now, they're starting to kind of fall out of it, but they're going to obviously be very desperate here down the stretch to try to get back in and to claw. And if you see Detroit continue a free fall, these teams in the Met that might have thought they were out of it are going to kind of kick it back up even more, with the possibility, get really hot down the stretch, and maybe you do get a wild card spot out of this division. They're in a really weird spot, But then again, you came into the season with low expectations. It's been a fun season. If you make it, you're happy. If you miss it, can you really be that upset if you're a fan? Because they have given you 65-ish games of way better than what you expected. Right? Like,
Sandstrom is in, I believe.
Ooh. I told you.
Yeah.
I had a feeling. There's no way they're putting him back in the game.
We have 1:17, and there's one thing. We had a guy come over who, big fan of the show, in between periods, said hi to me and Bundy. And he walked up to Bundy and he tapped him on the shoulder and goes, "I know it was you. I know it was you." And Bundy's looking at me and goes, "You're the one who stole the Yager bobbleheads."
We almost took Yager's head off a few times today, too.
It was so good. It was so good.
So is it going to just be you popping all the bobblehead heads off?
Yeah, I mean, that's hilarious. Somebody
that
jacked up the bobblehead thing. Did it have the was it the mullet Yager, or did
I don't know,
the
but
newer
like,
Yager?
Well, it had to be the mullet one. It was Penguin, right?
Yeah, you got a mullet.
But like, what are you going to do with all of them? You're going to sell them one at a time?
Sell them on the marketplace.
Is there like a black market for the Yager bobbleheads?
There will be now.
Oh, it's so funny.
Well,
it was so great.
We'll be back second intermission and postgame. Don't forget, shop.snowthegoalie.com. I think we're going to hopefully have a couple of things from the team before the night is over to show you some of the door prizes. I can tell you there's going to be a lot of stuff on Saturday.
Yeah, come out if you haven't got tickets yet. Come out, buy tickets.
Yep, shop.snowthegoalie.com. And we'll have door prizes, all kinds of cool stuff. It'll be absolutely worth the price of admission. Plus, you get a big Italian buffet.
Some autographed materials as well.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So, absolutely worth the price. Do you see how Bundy just walked over the velvet rope?
You missed it. I came back.
No, I
made it the last time.
Anthony, on his way out during the first period, almost fell and died that way. So you're now 1 of 3. Security's actually keeping a special eye out for you to make sure that you don't.
1 for 3 gets you in the Hall of Fame in baseball.
That's true.
Right? So I'm a Hall of Famer.
1 out of 3 saves would have been really nice there for Erson. He might have still been in the game. We'll talk to all of you in the second intermission, where Andrew will do intern Andrew trivia. Talk to you all after this period.
forget PA recovery.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Press Row Show, the #1 rated pregame, intermission, and postgame show this side of the Mississippi and south of the Arctic Circle.
Brought to us by...
And pending north of the equator, proudly brought to you by the fine folks at the Pennsylvania Recovery Center, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But Bundy, they've got 4 locations, both in Pennsylvania and in New Jersey.
Mental health, addiction, anything you need. If you need help, you can give us a call. We'll get you situated. We'll evaluate you, and we'll get you on the road to recovery, however that looks.
And that phone number is available in the description of this episode if you're watching over on YouTube or Facebook, or if you're listening back in the podcast feed. Always there, always available. Also on the thumbnail of this beautiful episode of the Press Row Show. We have a lot of good stuff to get into. And listen, the game, it's 3-1 after
it was a better period.
After 2 periods.
It was a better period. They were better in their own end that period. They really were.
How about the goaltending?
Yeah, well, Sandstrom made a couple of nice saves when he had to. But
as we've always said, the true #1 on this team is...
He's reminiscent of... You know what I was thinking about this? Like, he had a good game his last start, and then he comes out and he has that great period. And I'm thinking, this is the Antero Niittymaki when he had played 3 games that first year as a rookie. Remember that, Bundy?
Yeah.
He was 3-0 with like a 1.00 goals against, and I was like, future goalie of the future for this team.
Yeah.
Nitty.
So we're getting into good stuff, and we've been talking all night about the fact that on Saturday we're doing the live show, and I want to show people something before we get into Intern Andrew's trivia and we get into the game a little bit. And you have a bag full of goodies here. If you come out to the live show at La Sicilia on Saturday, we have a bag full. My God, you are a bull in a china shop tonight. We have a bag full of goodies, and there's some really cool stuff in here. We've got Flyers merch that we're going to be giving away on Saturday at the live show. Tickets, shop.snowthegoalie.com. We've got Flyers hats, we've got Flyers shirts, but there are a couple of things in here that are going to certainly be of note. You got the new era of orange shirt.
Sure, that's sweet. You got
a nice one.
You got what else is in there? A SanFilippo Flyers banana hammock.
No, not that.
No, but
not that.
You guys might see this.
There are autographed, some autographed memorabilia is going to be given away as door prizes on Saturday.
It's a Cam York
signed stick.
Yeah.
And there's
a big one in here.
A big one, an all-star. We have an all-star.
Travis Konechny autographed mini helmet.
Yeah.
So
come out to the show, and like we said, we're gonna. I guess it'll be 10 entries into the contest for each of the prizes with a purchase ticket. Again, shop.snowthegoalie.com. You won't get a physical ticket. We have a running list of all the people and a nice little spreadsheet, so we'll be okay.
Eric Berkey.
Hitch Diners Club card. Bundy, what do you think Hitch would do to an Italian buffet?
Oh, no, don't. It's too early in the intermission to go off the rails.
No, it's
somebody
not.
say an Italian buffet?
Too early.
Where do we go to get that?
Hey, Hitch, would you rather get some ravioli or manicotti?
I don't call it manicotti anymore. I call it maniga. That's what I learned here in Philly. It's not manicotti like my mom made me. It's maniga.
We have fun here on the Press Row Show.
Man.
We'll get into the period in a little bit, but first we bring up. Oh wait, hold on. No, I have to give you the thing with the video, don't I? Did I send it to you? I didn't send it to you. What a horrible human I am. Intern Andrew's going to be coming on here in a second. He's got his trivia locked and loaded.
Look what you've done. Look what you've done. Now look at Ogie. See now before it's even brought up for whatever you're going to now. This is what you have wrought.
What did I write?
We're going to bring a guest on
here
for
we
a
go.
second. We're going to ask him about the dinner.
Maybe I will show up Saturday and bring a stack of banana hammock 8x10s for Anthony to sign.
Yes.
You have the link.
Tell us how excited you are about Saturday night.
I'm very excited.
You're going to be there, right, Eric?
This is a fan. This is a super fan.
I don't know if Eric's coming. Is Eric coming on Saturday?
You got tickets for the show, right?
Yes.
Saturday.
Oh, you did. Okay,
Eric
we're
will
good.
be there Saturday. Yes.
There you go.
I'm taking off of work.
Oh,
What a guy.
Man. My man.
That's commitment.
You're going to get a good meal out there, my friend.
Currently, right
You're
now,
going to get a good meal out there.
we got the Pennsylvania Recovery Center right now. Actually, we might be hiring Eric.
Really?
Yes. We need some help at our Cherry Hill spot, and what better person than Eric?
That's
Sign me
awesome.
up. You're signed up.
There we go.
Well, we can't wait to have you out there
see you
Saturday.
buddy. Thanks for coming up to see us.
We always have
You're the best, my
people
friend.
coming up here
We do. We love
during
having people
intermissions
on.
and pregame and postgame.
Oh,
So he'll be there
Flyers there.
Saturday.
Yeah, it's
Flyers
awesome.
there. I mean, the man's got the Flyers crest tattooed on his head.
I mean, that's
That's
commitment.
next level.
That's commitment.
That's next level stuff. Anyway. The Ravicati. Why not? Why not? All right, before this thing totally falls apart, and we're most of the way there, let's throw it over. We're going to add intern Andrew in here. And look at him. And now, you missed this the other day, Ant, but we taught intern Andrew about shooting portrait mode so that we can get more of him on the screen, because that's what the people want. They don't want to just look into his eyes. They want to see the man. They want to see his torso. Intern Andrew, it's time for trivia.
Take it away,
By
pal.
the way, we got every trivia question right without you here.
Nice.
So if you coming back screws it up, you're out during second intermission.
Even though I knew the whole one the game before that.
Fake
But that's
news.
all right. Go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
That's all right. Okay, so turn myself up a little bit. So last year in the first round of the playoffs, the Maple Leafs beat the Tampa Bay Lightning and got that proverbial monkey off of their back. That snapped the streak of 8 consecutive playoff series losses for the Maple Leafs. Now, during that stretch of 8 losses, 3 times the Maple Leafs were eliminated because of a series-clinching overtime goal.
Yes.
Can you name the 3 players that scored those goals?
I know one of them.
Patrice
Bergeron was one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That was that crazy
That was
comeback.
awesome.
4-1 when they lost that down the stretch, 5 minutes.
Jeremy Roenick.
That's 2.
Wait a minute. So they beat. Hold on. JR was. With
04.
In 04.
Yeah.
Those were the 2 I expect you to get. This one. This
So
one's
you
pretty
said
scary.
it was a game. It wasn't
3.
overtime.
There's
right?
no overtime. Overtime
Yeah.
game.
Oh,
or
yeah,
overtime
overtime.
3 overtime series clinching goals. You got 2 of them.
That's good. That's a good
Roenick,
question.
Bergeron. Did this guy play for either of those teams?
Well, it's not the Flyers.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Washington? Did they play Washington at all?
No, I think it wasn't Boston.
It's not Montreal. I know that.
So
I would have
who
remembered.
the hell else eliminated them?
Should have listened to Russ.
It's Washington.
It's the Capitals.
It wasn't Oven Chicken though.
Wasn't who?
Oven Chicken.
Ovechkin is
Oh,
what he's
no.
trying to say. No, it's not
Was it
Ovechkin.
Nicholas Backstrom?
No.
No, that was
No.
against Montreal. He had one in overtime against Montreal. Backstrom did.
Was it Evgeny Kuznetsov?
It was not him.
That would have been funny if it was.
Thinking of Washington players that played
How
there.
long ago was
TJ
it?
Oshie,
2017.
Justin Williams.
17.
So
But you didn't expect us to get it, which means it's not a well-known guy.
Yeah, he's not particularly well known. I believe he's still playing though somewhere.
2017,
I'll have to look it up
not a
just to be
big
sure.
name. Was it a defenseman?
No, forward.
It was a forward, okay.
Marcus Johansson.
That a boy.
look at you.
I didn't. It's not there. I didn't look yet.
Way to go.
Wow.
That was a hell of a pull, Bundy. I'm
I
proud
was
of you.
just thinking of the team back then, and I remember
Marcus Johansson. Look at that.
that was right off the just to spit it right out.
That was good. You got. I'm actually shocked you got Bergeron before Roenick.
Well, Bergeron's the one everybody remembers.
Right, but the Flyers' second round series was the first series that in that streak.
Correct.
The Flyers started it off.
Correct. Yes.
Good. That's a good trivia.
That's a good one.
Intern Andrew, the Snow the Goalie Research Department has gotten significantly
It's
better.
fantastic, the Snow the Goalie Research Department.
And by the way, you can meet the Snow the Goalie Research Department not only at the live show on Saturday night, tickets at shop.snowthegoalie.com, but also at the Flyers Carnival.
Hey, you know what we were thinking between periods, Bundy? What do you think about this? Because, I did the dunk tank last year, and Russ is wussing out. He does not want to do the dunk
will
tank
not do
this
it.
year. He refuses to do the dunk
I
tank.
refuse.
So my suggestion was, since Russ is being such a wuss about it, we should put intern Andrew into the dunk tank.
I'm glad you said him, not me, because I'd have been like, "What you talking about, Willis?"
Well, you know what I'm going to do, though? I'm going to go over to YouTube. Hold on.
we
I'm going to
already
go
have-
to YouTube right now. I'm going to start a poll.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we're going to 100% go with this, but
I like
will
this.
say that we might
Who should-
open this up. Who should go in the dunk
Who
tank?
should go in
at
between the
Carnival?
four of us? Between the four of us. And
should
so here's the
go
thing. So we got intern
in the
Andrew
dunk
doing the Leprechaun
tank
on
at
Saturday at the live event,
Flyers.
correct?
I feel like I'm pulling my weight here. With,
You got
with
a
the chicks.
you got the poem
And-
I have a poem. I have costumes.
and costumes
I have
for
trivia
Saturday.
questions. Now I have to get wet.
Andrew.
I wanted to be home for Selection Sunday. It's a big day.
Yeah, you'll be home by that
All
time.
right, there's a poll up right now over on YouTube on the Snoop
You had
Goalie
to
channel
mention
on this video.
You had to mention the Selection Sunday.
His daughter's team
I
just
just
got
lost.
eliminated.
All right?
And
You did that on purpose.
He goes in the
intern.
dunk tank just for
He
hurting
knew
Bundy's
exactly what he
feelings. Disrespectful to his daughters.
Not.
I
In the
knew
tank
what you
to go.
did.
I was
You
rooting
rubbed
for them.
salt in the wound.
I was rooting for them.
All right, listen.
I'm sorry.
I have the currently the poll is up over on the YouTube video. If you're not there right now with 134 other people, now's the time to get there to vote in the poll. Again, we're not going to hold this as gospel, but we are going to take it into some consideration. Unless it's me, then we're not. But as of right now, 31 votes are in, and 72% of the vote is me. What?
Brad Bantle says we need a Bundy impression
Of Hitch getting dunked.
If you dunked him, if he was in that thing, there'd be no water in it after. The first dunk. Dude, they'd have to have like a hose in it just filling it the whole time. It's like the guy who paints the Golden Gate Bridge. He does it all year long. They'd have to pull a fire hydrant out of the parking lot and load it into the dunk tank.
Oh, man. Oh, what a night. What a night.
You know what the best thing is, though? Is when this kind of stuff happens, we hear it, right? Like, we hear what we're saying.
Yeah.
I just took the headphones off because I needed to collect myself. And, like, everybody walking by, like, they don't have any context. And it's kind of quiet relative to, like, the sound in the arena. But all I heard was... And, like, some dude looked at us like we're insane. And, like, we are. Welcome to the Press Row Show. As of right now, Ant is starting to gain. 51 votes are in. 20% of the vote says Ant, 6% for Bundy, 8% for intern Andrew.
And who's winning?
Me with 67%. I don't know.
I love it. I love it. It's what it should be.
It's rigged. This is a rigged poll.
It's the mail-in votes that are getting it.
Yes, exactly. The late arriving mail-ins are coming now, so allegedly.
We don't just talk hockey here.
That's right.
It's so much more than just hockey.
Bundy, what did I say the other night? Everybody gets a vote.
Yeah, like Bernie, you did a great Bernie sound.
Everybody gets a vote.
Or 2 or 3.
A lot of people are voting for Russ. He's a nice guy. You shouldn't just vote for us.
No, I'll give him back.
Intern Andrew has been doing a great job on this show for a very long time, and he should get a few votes.
I'll give you a bet. So, how about if we have Morgan Freeman narrating you climbing into the dunk tank?
Narrating me?
Narrating
That's
you.
what you want right now?
Climbing into the dunk tank. Here we go.
It's going to be hard because it's loud in here.
Well, Russ Joy was walking his way into the dunk tank, and all he could think to himself was, what the hell have I gotten myself into this time? How did I end up here? Get busy dunking or get busy dying?
That would be the Shawshank Redemption, folks.
There you go. See that, and I know that one.
That was after you were born.
No, it wasn't.
91,
Oh, it was after I was
92,
born. Yeah,
something
but
like that,
that's my
I think
favorite
it was
movie.
93.
Might have been
Shawshank,
93,
yeah, and you know what movie it lost to?
I forget, but it
And
was,
there's a reason that I don't like the movie that.
Titanic?
No. That was way later.
wasn't way
The
later.
Shawshank Redemption's most
Shawshank
known
lost.
for having some of the worst reviews and then absolutely turning the tide on the entire population.
Do you know what movie Shawshank lost the Oscar to? Don't look at the screen.
What was the year?
93?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Something like that.
Schindler's List.
I don't know.
No, it
Jurassic
wasn't
Park?
Schindler's List. Nope. If I tell you the actor, you would get it in a second. Don't look at that.
I'm not looking. I'm
No,
not
he
looking.
is.
I'm not looking at the screen.
I'm going to say Silence of the Lambs.
No.
No, that was 91.
It is a-
That was my year I graduated high school.
The Man Likes to Run.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump beat Shawshank Redemption.
Which I was an extra in. Did you know that?
What?
In Forrest Gump.
Wow.
I'm in the scene at the Lincoln Memorial.
It's not the running. It's not a running
it was
scene.
not. It was not. It was at the Lincoln Memorial, and the little tidbit I'll give you is, if you look at it, you got to look closely. There weren't that many people there that were extras.
Yeah.
So what they did, it was they took one shot, and we were all kind of behind Tom Hanks's character, and they CGI'd us like all around the reflecting pool, the entirety of the reflecting pool. So that's what it was. The same people in every spot.
Did you see Tom Hanks there?
We got to meet him. He walked down a line and shook everybody's hand and said, "Thank you for doing this project." That was the extent of it. Yes, but I was in college when that happened. So I was, I don't know, 18 when they were filming that, I guess. So
we got to talk hockey for a minute because Cryptic Cowboys.
Well, here, fine. I'm going to close the poll. Only 63 votes are in, though, so I don't know if that's not quorum. But we're going to end it at 63 votes. Where did the results go? There they are. So the final tally.
Can we put it up on the screen?
No. Bundy got 6% of the votes. Intern Andrew got 7% of the vote. Ant got 20% of the vote. I got 65% of the vote.
That sounds like a winner to me. Sounds like a winner to me. And you know what? I bet you Nancy Joy would love to have the kids come and dunk their dad. How much fun would that be? To have your boys and little Pia come up and dunk their dad. Each of them get to do it once. So you would get dunked 4 times.
I'll tell you what, I'll consider it. But I'm hoping for a contested convention down here at the carnival. We're going to replace me with intern Andrew. All right.
I didn't even finish in second. I was third.
You know what? Third is better than fourth. We have to go ranked choice voting. If I can't do it, then it's who's second. Intern Andrew. Now, we didn't say if he wears the leprechaun costume that he's apparently going to wear on Saturday, he definitely would have won.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Anyway. Lyndon Joseph tells me to get the floaties ready. So, the number one question on the number one pregame, intermission, and postgame show, and it's always directed at Bundy because he knows. Bundy, how important are the first 5 minutes of this third period going to be?
In a 3-1 game tonight, the way that I thought the Flyers kind of regrouped, Sandstrom was very good. It's a super important first 5 tonight. It really is in this third period. Because you can set the tone for the rest of the period. Maybe you get a goal, maybe you don't. But how you play and how you set the tone in the first 5 will dictate the period. Flyers are not out of this. I thought they were in the first. It didn't happen in the second again for Toronto. But that allows now the Flyers an opportunity to kind of jump it here. They're going to have to do it early.
I want to agree with Jeremy Lejeune on something that has nothing to do with what the Flyers are doing. The only thing worse than the Flyers' power play is ESPN's coverage. ESPN has been awful with hockey.
Horrible, dude. I don't even know why they got it. They embarrassed the sport.
They are so bad. It's not even close. TNT is so much better than ESPN. ESPN is just going through the freaking motions.
They don't. It seems like they just don't care.
Yeah. It's terrible. It's so bad. I don't know what they're doing now.
10 seconds. We'll see you post-game.
Post-game. We'll be here. Talk to you then. That was not good. That was a bad night of hockey.
I'm seeing green, Russ.
Are you that sick?
That was sickening. That third period was disgusting. Honestly, God, I want to vomit all over the place. It was so brutal.
It was a bad game pretty much from start to finish. And we spent pregame and the first intermission saying, you have to start on a good foot, especially pregame. We said you have to start on the right foot. We talked about over these next 7 games, including tonight, it's so important to get, you said, well, Ant said pregame 6 points. Then you came on first intermission and said 6 points in those 7 games. The Flyers got boat raced tonight. They got curb stomped tonight. They got their teeth kicked in, and they showed little to no fight back. Now, granted, Sam Ersson was not good in the first period, got pulled in the first intermission. Sandstrom came in, played well for a period, fell apart in the third. This is not a good result by any stretch of the imagination. This isn't there's no silver lining in this one that you pull out and you say, oh, they did get a goal back there late in the third period.
Yeah,
no, this is bad. So if we are to believe your logic and Ant's logic, you need 6 points out of these 7 games to put yourself in really good position down the stretch for playoff positioning. Now it's 6 points in 6 games you need. And by the way, this team comes back next week to this same place, and you better show a little bit more resolve. And what's that thing that Tort said the team has? Balls? Yeah, you better find them. You better find them fast.
They've had them this year, though, Russ. This is what. Listen,
they got their doors blown off in
Tampa.
Tampa.
They did against a more talented team where the stars shine tonight. I mean, guys like Matthews will hurt you. The third period, again, when I said at the end of the second period, and it's the exact same way I thought if I played. Yeah. Guys, we're down 3-1. That wasn't a bad period. We got to be better in the third, and we'll give ourselves a chance. Got to tighten up defensively, and when the opportunities are there, take advantage of them. The one goal where it ended up the breakaway to Matthews, I don't know what the Flyers D was doing. You had York in position, and Sanheim decides he's going to come across to the same puck carrier. That's like stuff you learn in like Pee-wee hockey. Like you just don't come across, be like, oh, I'm going to go get that guy because he's someone else's guy. And then, of course, who scores? 34. The last guy on the ice you want with open space on a half breakaway. It was a mess, man. And then it gets better. All right, tonight's like the gloves off night, right?
Yeah.
If it was bad, it's bad. The Flyers they're on a penalty kill.
Yes.
And they had a yard sale in the process. They had 3 guys out of the 4 with sticks on the ice, and they could not pick them back up. They just couldn't get in position. It was unbelievable, the sequence. It looked like a fire drill.
Yeah.
And then Toronto finally scored, but that was kind of a microcosm of what that whole third period was. And you know what? I talk about the first 5 in the third. Mm-hmm. When you don't have it, this is what happens when you come out with more of an attitude. They just need to come out with a little bit more of a pop in them in the third, and they didn't. They looked discombobulated. They didn't look in sync.
Yeah.
And as a result, they got their doors blown off here tonight. And yeah, I mean,
well, they had their doors blown off in Tampa. They had their doors blown off in this one. They had a really nice game against Florida where they picked up a win that you didn't expect. But look, I don't want to be negative here. I don't like being the guy who's like the negative one on the show, but the team is what it is. And you didn't have the coach for the last 2 games. You almost lost against San Jose.
Yeah.
You did not look ready to play tonight. And I get that there's a lot that goes into it with the coach and the coach getting the most out of these guys, and you push and you push and you push. But I don't know if it's that the team wasn't mentally locked in. I don't know if it's that the team is physically worn out.
Well, there's guys that look like they've hit a wall. There's no doubt about it.
There's no doubt. And it's more than 3. There are a lot of guys who just, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it again. The coach rode Sean Couturier into the ground. And now you're in a position where he looks like a shell of himself. And the problem is that now that he's missed 2 years, you can't say to him, take a month away or take a week or 2 off, because it's going to be almost impossible for him to get back into some kind of flow, right? You've talked about this. It's almost worse for him to take a break than to allow himself to stay loose in playing shape with a back injury, right?
Yeah.
You run the risk of legitimately, I don't know if it's seizing up or whatever, but there's something to be said for staying in playing shape. And if you, I think that's the problem they've run themselves into. And that sucks because, look, you can flip his minutes with Lawton's as much as you want, which they've kind of gone to for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. But like Lawton at his best is not Couturier at 80%. What?
I don't want anybody going at anybody's haircut.
What's happening? Who's going after haircut? Oh, Rockies. I don't know. I don't want to say that it's over because there's 16 games left, 15 games left. It's not over. Once you get through this stretch, there are winnable games. But like you can't. This can't happen again.
Well,
again, you have the chance for retribution in a week.
Boston beat Montreal tonight in a very tight game, 2-1 in overtime.
Yeah.
So I know watched them lately. They haven't been great lately, Boston.
They have the Flyers number.
They do. They're 39, 14, and 15.
Yeah.
So they've left the buildings this year, 29 losses.
Yeah.
For the Bruins, when you really think about it. Look at, they got hammered by St. Louis the other night. Mm-hmm. Montreal, they struggle. So listen, again, when you're the Flyers and this is an opportunity, you have to look at who's playing. I'm always a trend guy. Like, teams go up and then they go down, and that's how long they stay up for. And Boston looks like they're not fading. They're going to make the playoffs and they'll regroup. But right now might be a good time to get them.
Yeah. Can you put that Flyers Cup one up here real quick?
Pasternak, I see Adam B there. Yeah, I mean, he's a problem against the Flyers. They really struggle against stopping and containing really high-end skill.
Flyers Cup does make a good point here. Flyers schedule, rest-wise, is favorable this month. 2+ days between games every week in March. They had a week off in February. They shouldn't be tired. So like we're looking at I'm looking at the cumulative effect of how they've had to play every night. The adage of hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work. They've been taken lightly in a lot of games. Earlier in the year, teams were playing their backup goalie against this team. They were getting points. Now as it gets to be nut crunching time, where you are going up against teams that are playoff bound or playoff desperate, the other teams are going to work. They're going to work hard. And this Flyers team tonight, there were some guys who looked like they were giving it their all. I'm not questioning if they have the intrinsic motivation, but like it wasn't out there tonight. And this team will get boat raced in these next 6 games if they put out that kind of effort. If they put out whatever that not locked in mental game they played tonight, they will get their teeth kicked in for the next 6 games. And what really is the interesting thing is, you and Ant said 6 points. I said I very well could see 0-5 and 2 kind of thing. You get 2 points out of the stretch, or like 1-5 and 1.
That's
two or 3 points is really bad. And then you look at it and you say the Islanders they have a lot of loser points, but the Islanders have a path. The Devils still stink, but they could potentially see blood in the water, maybe. You've got Detroit is in free fall.
No, they're bad now.
But if Detroit turns it back around, then you're back in that situation where the Atlantic will probably get both wild card spots. I'm just saying, like, not trying to paint a negative picture here, but like it is kind of a negative picture.
But
like,
you're giving it, you're giving it the complete, like the worst case scenario stuff.
I'm looking at it kind of realistically,
just
because, like, when you have Johnson and Stahl in the lineup, Sealer's still out, you don't have Drysdale, you traded off Walker, like. They don't seem to want to bring up the Emile Andres, which we talked about during intermission. They sent Jinnick down. Ant said they have no intention of really like bringing him back up unless it's an emergency situation. I don't see the positive path until they're able to get like Sealer back maybe. But think about that.
And imagine we're talking now like about Nick Sealer.
That's what I'm saying.
Being like the savior. I mean, listen, it's the power play. I know it scored tonight, but I mean it was one of those rebound goals. They need to find ways to produce more offense. And again, like they scored 3 against San Jose, which is fine, but that's not good enough. You need to really. And then going back to Tampa, you have 0. You get you had 2 tonight, but one was really a quitter goal at the end for Toronto. Like they're like, all right, just get out of here. And free space showed up for Forcer and he scored. But they've got a lot of work to do, and they got to refocus. They have they'll have practice tomorrow, I would assume, and get ready for Boston. In Boston again, this is the Flyers. I don't think are playing well. I don't think Boston is either. But for some reason, I hate the Flyers going in there. It's never. I mean, I traveled with the team for 15 years after as well, and Boston's been a nightmare to go to.
Always.
Always.
But it's not going to be a nightmare. You can come watch that game. down at La Sicilia in Oxford. We're going to be doing the live show, the Press Road Show, Big Italian Buffet, and we talked about it during the intermissions. But for the people who listen back after the fact in the podcast feed and they listen to the post-game show, they didn't get to check this out. We have a bunch of merch, Flyers merch that we're going to be giving away as door prizes. We have a signed Cam York mini stick. We have a signed Travis Konechny mini helmet. So you come in, you get your ticket online, shop.snowthegoalie.com. You get a big buffet. We do the Press Road Show. We talk puck the entire time. We're going to be watching the game up on the big screen. Intern Andrew's going to be dressed like a leprechaun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've been told that there might even be more stuff.
There is.
I actually do know about one other really big door prize that I think we're going to save as a surprise for that night. There might be
it's
some
going to
other
be an
stuff as
awesome door
well.
prize. Yeah, for sure.
So you'll get, I think, 10 entries with a ticket. So that'll be nice. And then
and I will be there the whole night now, Russ, because unfortunately my girls lost, so I won't have to travel to Boston University for, BU for the championship game on Sunday, which sucks. But you know what? I'll be there.
They had a heck of a season, though.
They had a great year. Yeah, I'm so proud of both my girls. I love you. And if you are watching, which I doubt you are, really proud of the year you had, and I hope you guys can get back next year to try it again.
I love it. Matthew Bennick here says, dunk your garlic bread into beautiful marinara at La Sicilia, and then dunk Russ into the dunk tank.
I actually just looked at the directions out there, and see ya, Fridge.
And what'd you find? Fridge is looking sad. He looks sad after that game.
Fridge doesn't look good tonight.
He looks sad. He looks like this loss got to him. That's okay.
Well, I mean, the good. It got to me after the first. I'd let it go by now.
I don't know if you saw this or not pregame, but you were talking to somebody pregame, and Jim Jackson came over, and he said, "Oh, Russ, your show's over." And I was like, "What?" He's like, your show's over." And I was like, "Oh, Jim Jackson found out that I called you Boosh the other day and said, it's okay. The refs are going for all the blah, blah." And I'm like, "Wow, Jim Jackson canceled our show. I didn't know he could do that. I didn't know he had the power." And then he's like, "That guy talking over there about you. You talking to somebody?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, he must have thought because the lights were on."
That was Jim's boy, Bernie. Great lady.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Okay.
Super awesome lady.
Well, then that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
But that was fun. Anyway, you were saying.
You get clawing on the refs sometimes. It's just like I don't think refs are great, but they have a job to do.
They do.
I mean, imagine going out there dressed like that every night in front of 20,000 people. Black pants and a striped shirt.
Yeah, not great. You were saying something before, and I interrupted you with another off-the-rails thing. I think it was about Saturday.
It's Saturday. I was like, wow. I was like, where is this place? So I just Googled the directions. I need an airplane? I'm going to take a hovercraft.
It's going to take you a little bit to get there. It's going to take me a while to get there, but you know
what?
what?
It's a little past Wilmington.
But you know what? We love the fact that we get to go out and chat with people that night, have a nice big Italian meal. It's going to be a great time. Intern Andrew, do you have the poem? You have the poem? Hold on. Let's do a very rare thing. I don't know if we've ever done this on the Press Row post-game show, but let's bring Intern Andrew onto the stage really quick. And Intern Andrew, can you tell us a little bit about the poem that you're going to be reciting on Saturday?
Is it an Irish poem?
Yeah, I styled it as a limerick, which is.
Do you have a bit of an Irish accent you can drop onto people?
I have no Irish accent, but the rhyme schemes with a limerick is significantly harder than
Limerick,
the
Pennsylvania,
last one that I did.
with the nuclear towers.
Limerick. You're going to sing a wee limerick for us, are you?
Oh, what you got over there? What you got up your sleeve? What you got up there?
Will you wear a jockstrap with the tights?
A jock? I don't think so.
You don't want to have like the Christopher Reeve problem with Superman 1?
No. They're not tights. The pants are actually pretty baggy.
Okay, good.
Oh, I bet they are.
No junk in the trunk?
No. This is a PG. This is a family-friendly show.
He's got to put
for
a
God's
goal.
sake, buddy.
Got to put a goal back
Get
there.
your head out of the gutter.
Oh, you got a couple of wee four-leaf clovers down in your drawers there, eh, fella?
Did I do something to hurt you?
No. We just lost here. I mean, we got to have a little fun and at least have some sense of people home.
You get to be the treasure at the end of our rainbow. After a rough night. It was a stormy night out here. The rainbow lands right here.
I love your striped suit, and your little socks, and your little wee tipped boots.
I could have interned for any other podcast. And I chose this one.
All right, so the poem.
Yeah, so I said the rhyme scheme for a limerick is a lot harder than the elf one that I did, because that's just like 2 rhymes and that's a stanza.
How does a limerick work? I don't remember.
So it's two So it's
not a haiku.
No, I'm trying to.
Matt Bennick. No, I cannot Matt Bennick do that right now. I got to get out of here. He wants me to do a Hitch Irish accent.
I'm trying to think of how to say it without giving anything away that I've already written, but it's like.
Is it like 4-3? Is it an iambic pentameter?
It's a sentence that rhymes, or a sentence that rhymes with that, then two quick, like B's,
okay,
and then
so
a third
A-A-B.
sentence that rhymes with the first two.
Okay, so it's AABBA.
Yes.
Okay, takes me back to AP English.
I went
and
roaring.
composition.
I went roaring back to 7th grade language arts.
Wow. So we brought him on Postgame for the first time ever, and this is what we got.
Very nice.
Well, I mean, I don't have anything else to add about the game. It was
it was
throw away the tape game.
Great trivia though today, which we're not putting in the postgame show in the podcast feed. The people have to go back to the YouTube video and they have to find it. It was great. It was a great intermission. It was great trivia.
And went down to see Joe Seville. There's no coach interview or anything tonight because of the loss.
Yeah.
We were actually hoping this would be the first night actually a head coach would answer one of Anthony's questions.
No torts. No torts. No Snow the goalie.
Well,
you know what I think?
Riot.
I think this might be time.
I want to see people that are watching this show come out and have a blast with us Saturday night.
Yeah.
We'll be there. We'll be there at around 5:30. Show starts at 6:30, and we're gonna eat. We're gonna eat like pigs. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna laugh, and
antipasta. We got the main dishes. We got the desserts. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be so fantastic.
Yeah. We'll see you then. We'll be there. We'll be there ready to roll on Saturday night.
By the way, the link to the tickets is available in the description of this episode on YouTube, Facebook, and in the podcast feed. You could share that to your friends, share that to your family. Let people know, the Flyers fans in your life. Hey, you want to go meet Bundy? Have a little man of God? Have a little...
You'll have fun, I promise you.
Oh, my God, it's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be a great time.
It's going to be absolute chaos for multiple hours. Food, chaos, hockey, door prizes, autographed memorabilia that we're going to be giving away. Door prizes. You don't buy extra tickets. Now, Ant told us something during one of the intermissions that, they might sell extra entries. But, just know, if you show up, you get 10 entries per ticket, which is great. The value of some of these things
really good.
Exceeds the value of your tickets. So.
Could you theoretically win everything?
Ooh.
It's a really great question.
That is a good question, because, the autographed memorabilia... I would think that if you win the autograph memorabilia, that you're ineligible for the hats and the shirt, right? Wouldn't you think so?
I mean, if your number keeps getting called, your number keeps getting called.
It's not your fault.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Wow, okay.
Should have rigged the system.
I guess we'll have to talk about that. Okay. All right, time for us to go. Ant was supposed to come back up here, but just like in pregame, he was late. He almost died tonight.
Twice.
We're going to fill the post-game people in. There's the velvet rope by the show, and Anthony showed up late. Jackie Spiegel from the Inquirer was here. She did a great job.
Yep.
Ant shows up late. He goes to step over the velvet rope, catches it with his foot. The gold posts holding it up start to fall. One almost hits the camera, knocks it over. Ant slams into one of the high-top tables. We were very close to having the high-top table go through the glass behind us, which would then fall down, and Patrick Swayze, remember the bad guy in Ghost who gets impaled by the window, late in the movie?
I haven't seen it. I'm sorry.
Guy gets anyway. That was gonna be Gritty. Ant almost killed Gritty, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So it's been a heck of a night here.
Great night.
And then when he left,
for
he
us.
also fell over too. Well, kind of fell. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Come see how great Ant's dexterity is on Saturday, and then Sunday, Bundy.
We have the carnival.
We have the carnival, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And one of us will be in the dunk tank. Who? I don't know. Could it be me with the 65% of the vote on YouTube? Maybe. Could it be Ant? I've heard that when it comes to the dunk tank, his fingerprints are all over it. So I guess we'll find out.
Break another toe.
We'll find out.
His toe prints.
Val Camillo's not here to buy him a cake,
be able
though.
to do
So yeah, I don't
Could
know.
be the end of the mustache too. So take a last quick look.
That's got to stay. That's got to stay till Sunday.
It's a playoff mustache for the girls. It's gone.
It's a
Have a good
playoff
night,
mustache
Russ.
for the Flyers. All right, time for us to go. Everybody have a great night. Flyers lose. Bad game. We'll be back later this weekend. Have a great day, everybody.